Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the annual meeting for Brattleboro Community Television. My name is Alex Beck, and I'm the president of the board, and I would just like to welcome staff and board members and folks at home for joining us. And it's been a really exciting year. I think even though COVID isn't as it was over the last few years, BCTV continues to change and adapt to meet new expectations. And I'm using that perhaps euphemistically, because everyone transitioned to remote, and then some folks didn't transition all the way back yet. And so the changes of COVID still abound within the BCTV team and staff. So as they've adapted and gone to hybrid meetings and found new ways to reach community members, it's just been really exciting to see the staff evolve and change and really meet our community's needs when they are changing so frequently. Some really exciting things have happened this year. The Jumbotron at Harris Hill Ski Jump was exciting, to say the least. Coverage of NECA's Circus Spectacular was really popular and well received. And the summer camp this year included all sorts of new folks in our community. And so as a part of my welcome, I just want to say how proud I am to be associated with BCTV, to be the president. I wouldn't say I lead BCTV in any way, but it's just really an honor to be here with you all tonight. And I want to thank our board members for helping me along the way, and of course, the staff for doing all that you do. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to the real head of the show here, and welcome Cor Trowbridge to present the State of the Station report. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Cor.
All right, really enjoying this slideshow. We can catch up with that later. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to view so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right, everybody can see that all right? Hi, everybody. I'm Cor Trowbridge. I'm the executive director here. And thanks, everyone, for being here. The annual meeting is something that we do to just look back on the year, try and assess what happened, because sometimes it's hard to remember what happened over a year, and really make sure and see what accomplishments we had, and also to look ahead. So, and this meeting is followed by the annual meeting of the board of directors, and which a slate of officers will be elected, and we will be, and that meeting is also open to the public. So here we go with the State of the Station report. First of all, this is our new staff photo, and we've had some new staff members join in the past year or so. And we have Austin Rice is here in the audience, and who else is here? No other field producers. Okay. Are they seeing this full screen? No? Yeah. Okay. Well, so you guys can read the names yourself, but I want to just acknowledge Helena Leschuk, our operations manager in the back, Nolan Edgar, our content manager, Brian Bashaw, our production manager, and these are the people who make it all happen. We have a couple of underwriters who help us throughout the year. The Brattleboro Savings and Loan underwrites all of our local programming, and the Brattleboro Food Co-op underwrites our municipal programming. We also have event sponsors for specific events, and these are the sponsors of our town meeting programming, like the annual town meetings throughout the region, and also representative town meeting. And these are the sponsors of our graduations, Leland and Gray, BUHS, and BAMS. So my headline for the year is that BCTV is back in action. And what else says back in action, like a picture of the crew with Peter Welch and Marty Cohn, our board member, and this is at the Reformer headquarters doing a live stream of a candidate debate. So it's really high quality production, and we were really pleased to be part of it. We reopened to the public July 2021, and that was after 8 months of being working remotely. And the office was in disarray. Nobody knew what anybody looked like anymore. The staff had the equipment stashed at their homes. It was really different. And so we came back and put everything back together. And as you can see from this graph, that the low amount of facilities use that we had in the previous year has jumped right back to previous levels. We've been, the other thing that jumped back into action were our producers. We have weekly producers back in the saddle. George Harvey producing Energy Week, Wendy O'Connell, here we are, Derek Jordan, the World Fusion Show, Russ here on the Couch Potato Productions. Well done, Russ. And Maria Dominguez with Around Town with Maria. That's sort of, she does all sorts of stuff, and we kind of put it together in that series. Also, BUHS TV, which is produced at the high school, really was not active during the previous year and came back. We also had a lot of churches becoming active during COVID because all of their congregations wanted to watch live if they couldn't come in person. And those churches have continued to post weekly services. So that's also excellent local content that's continued. And monthly, quarterly, I've made a partial list here of the series that just keeps coming for us: Senior Solutions, Mitchell Giddings Fine Arts, Gallery Walk, just to name a few. And the number and hours of programming has settled back down to the average that we usually have. In COVID, actually, the number and hours really spiked because there were so many meetings and they were so long. And so things have settled back down to kind of a regular level. We also have some new shows and producers. Thorn in My Side is a game show at Hooker Dunham that's being produced. Excellent. The Rep Town Meeting Steering Committee produced their own meetings and aired them on BCTV. Open Exchange Vermont was COVID-related information. And Nolan and Brian produced their own shows about skateboarding and volleyball. Awesome. Staff produced productions featured live streams. That's because live streams are complex, equipment intensive, and they just require a higher level of expertise to figure it all out. And this is a short list of some of the live streams we worked on. And Alex mentioned a couple of them. And this just live is becoming expected, just what you do. And we have to just keep getting better and better at it and keep using whatever technology we can to make it more and more reliable. We also, staff produce and assist people with shows like a speaker series, Meet the Candidates, Montpelier Connection. So Mike Mrowicki records that on Zoom and then we edit it. Same thing with Montpelier Happy Hour. So that's kind of a half and half production. And new coming up is going to be a weekly news show called Vermontitude. And that's going to be starring, hosted by Fish and co-sponsored by The Reformer. So we're really looking forward to seeing how that's going. And I don't have any photos of that because we're just in the installation phase. But it's coming along, and we're really psyched about that. We also have a lot of staff-produced meetings. As you all know, this is kind of the center of what we do that we are known for. And like I said, the meetings had been getting longer and longer. They're back down to sort of more of a regular duration. But because they are hybrid, it's more labor intensive. There's more setup, there's more breakdown, there's more connectivity issues, laptops, all that kind of stuff. And we even had two new meetings to cover, and those are Wyndham Elementary School Board and the Marlboro Elementary School Board. What I was thinking about last night, I was kind of writing my remarks, I was thinking how remarkable it was that we, to my knowledge, never had to cancel due to staffing shortages or due to staffing, which I think in the year that everybody has had, it's pretty amazing. And that's due to a lot of juggling schedules and a lot of people just being willing to do whatever it takes. And I really am very proud of that. And I give my hats off to the staff for that. Hometown Media Awards, this is, we submit some of our programming to the Hometown Media Awards hosted by the Alliance for Community Media. We do this every year, and this year the winner was Juno Singles, which is which was just aired on BCTV, produced by Angus Reid with Nimble Arts and the Juno Orchestra, along with Austin Rice. And I'm just going to try to explain it because it's complicated, but it's a really cool collaboration between organizations. What it was 4 composers were commissioned to do compositions. Okay, I'm getting it. Just follow me. Okay, and then those compositions were performed by the Juno Orchestra. And that performance was recorded by Austin Rice. Then Nimble Arts created an acrobatic response to the compositions, and then Angus Reid, as a video producer, produced a video of the acrobatic response. Okay? Is everybody, are we all the way? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I want to play a little clip just so you get an idea, because it's a big deal to win a national award for something like the Entertainment and Arts Series of the Year, basically, by an independent producer. This means this beat out competition from really big stations like Queens and Hawaii and, all over the place. So it's very significant, and the last time BCTV won this was for Derek Jordan's show, the World Fusion Show, and that was in 2019. All right, so I'm going to play this, and just for a little bit, so you get a taste for it. Okay. Sorry, that's not more elegant, but I'm just going to. We did play a little bit of it, and that was good. Anyway, what do you guys think? If I escape, will I escape out of everything? Nope. Okay. All right.
It's all right. That's what it's going to be.
Yep. Getting into sort of the nitty-gritty nonprofit world here. Am I still presenting?
Yeah, it's just showing the top part of it.
Yeah, okay.
Hold the, I mean, down the left corner was showing something.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. Revenues, our revenues stayed stable or they increased. Donors and members really stepped up. And we also increased our rates to select boards to compensate for the fact that hybrid meetings are just more labor intensive to produce. We were fortunate to receive funding from the Vermont State Legislature in the FY22 budget bill, and that was for $12,500. That was because Vermont Access Network, which is kind of our industry organization, was awarded a lump sum by the state in recognition for the role of PEG stations in COVID, and also just in civic engagement, and also in recognition that cable revenues are going to decline, and that's our main funding source. So we were really fortunate to be a part of that, and I really appreciate it. This is just a little bit on the nitty-gritty side. If you look at the revenue sources that we had, You can see that this year was the year that Southern Vermont Cable was no longer contributing. That's because Comcast acquired Southern Vermont Cable, and all of that funding is now in the Comcast side of things. And when that territory was acquired, the rates increased in that territory, so our overall amount of cable revenues went up. Donations went up a small amount. Grants that we talked about in FY '21, you can see there's a large number there. That's because we received a PPP loan and also some COVID relief funds. And then in terms of production services, that went up an amount because we increased our select board fees for hybrid coverage, and also that's the work that we do for hire. And the total is a little bit misleading because if you take out everything in the grants column, you can see below that our revenues increased outside of those grants. Hope that made some sense. And here's the chart that I update every year. You can see there was a high point in 2016 where we saw our cable revenues starting to decline. And then in 2019, Comcast acquired Southern Vermont Cable, and that's why it's gone up. And then as people cut the cord, it will go down again. So that's just a chart that we keep working on. You know, in some ways, we're in a different situation than some other PEG stations who didn't have that recent acquisition. In terms of expenses, last year, we didn't have very many expenses related to people being in person because we weren't in person. So it was kind of a low expenditures year. And this year, we're back up to spending what we normally do. Again, meetings, hybrid meetings are just more labor intensive to produce. The federal mileage rate increased twice in FY '22, and the board voted to tie our mileage rate to that rate, so we are spending more on mileage than before. We've been investing in a long overdue website rebuild. We keep on buying equipment for our hybrid and live coverage, and you know that's just typical of public access stations where you have different people using equipment, and that's just wear and tear. Also, we keep finding new pieces of equipment that are going to help us do a better job. You know, we have these really challenging situations. Sometimes the producer will go and the board is sitting way far apart. You know, it's really quite complex from an audio standpoint, and we keep experimenting with different types of equipment to see if it will help. We also had our hospitality and conference expenditures go back to pre-COVID levels because we were able to go. Bottom line is that the COVID relief funds that we received were spent on staffing and gear, as was attended, and that really helped the bottom line. Here's just a very basic graph on expenses and income over the last 4 years. Again, those spikes you can see are the PPP loan and the relief funds and the one-time grants. Otherwise, it's pretty steady. Looking ahead to FY '23, and we are looking ahead because it's already 2 months into it. The good news is we're going to be renovating the studio. The last time this was done was 2012, so it's time for a reboot, and everybody's pretty excited about that. We are going to invest knowing that this whole building may be renovated someday, and we may be relocated, and that you know what we are going to be investing in will be portable in some form. Also working more on that website relaunch. The bad to terrible news is that we've been informed that our channel numbers are changing again. And this is nothing, we were informed of this by Comcast. They were informed of it by Nielsen. It's just a thing that happened. You know, we had new channel numbers 2 years ago after having the same channel numbers for over 40 years. So this is really tough. And as of October 27th, our new channel numbers will be 1078 and 1079. And we are going to spend the next month really getting the word out about this. So please let anybody No, because I know people have it saved on their favorites, on their Comcast lineup and stuff like that, so we're going to need to really get the word out on that. On the federal update, just quickly, we've spent a lot of time talking about the FCC making a change that makes it that cable companies can charge us for in-kind services that they're required to give us. And the progress on that is that there is an act in Congress, the Protecting Community TV Act, which clarifies that those in-kind fees can only be applied to monetary things, not to the actual in-kind things such as the channel, so that cable providers can't come back and say, hey, this is the cost of the channel. I'm going to assign this arbitrary amount, and you owe me $2 million. This act has 20 co-sponsors. The entire Vermont delegation is signed on, and we're going to see what happens with that. The 5th seat on the FCC remains open. The nomination was never got any traction. And that means the FCC is kind of stalled making decisions anyway. And what we're looking forward to in the short term is our producer awards party. And this is always really fun. We get to recognize the people who created either new programming or the best programming or whatever the category it is. And we're going to have it at a new venue, and that's the Stone Church on Wednesday, November 9th at 6 p.m. or 6:15 if people just like that better. And I hope to see you all there. And now I am introducing Brian, who is going to come up here and show a video. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Cora. Wonderful job as always. So I'm Brian Basha. I'm the production manager. And we have the first video we want to show tonight is kind of a year in review. So just kind of highlighting a lot of the past programs we've done. And so everyone can see how hard our producers work. They all do a fantastic job. So we just want to highlight that. And then after that, we typically make a video every year for Community Media Day, which is October 20th. This year we decided to do some short vignettes, kind of parroting, making fun of ourselves and the things that kind of go on at the station that we often sit around joking about after the fact. So that being said, we will start with the year in review video. right. Moving right along. This is something, so this is this skit for the first of hopefully a few vignettes. We did shoot another one with Helena yesterday, but it just hasn't been edited yet. So look for these in the future, a few more hopefully. And this is starring yours truly. I'm just so confused. I really want to make this work, but I just keep getting mixed signals. 1 minute it seems like we're fine, we're on the same page, and the next minute, any input I give is greeted by a frozen, vapid response. I see. Have you tried talking to them about this? Of course. I'm constantly expressing what is wrong and asking for ways to remedy the situation, but I never get a reply. Sometimes I feel as though I'm not cared for. I give affection and receive none in return. Have you considered other options? Maybe this has just run its course. Yeah, maybe you're right. But it is hard to think about leaving, though. We have been a team for so long, and starting fresh just seems so daunting. Learning all the new ins and outs, the likes, dislikes, what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. Sometimes change is a good thing. The start of a new relationship can be exciting. You might find that you are more compatible. They might have characteristics that are new and improve your life. Well, I did come across a new model online. The features look incredible and it has phenomenal reviews. Plus it's a one-time fee, so it's not that cash-grabbing model that Premiere uses. You know what? I think I will switch. Thanks, Doc. What? Are you talking about a computer program? Yeah, video editing software to be exact. Get out. You got it. Thanks again. Yeah, my phenomenal acting skills. Putting it to the test. Yes. I know. You did you realize it was me playing both roles?
I was like, Brian, you got your dad to.
Yes, that's right. Older Brian. So that was anyone making any closing remarks, or we also have a microphone if anyone wants to say anything about BCTV, have any thoughts, praise, criticisms, mainly praise would be great.
Yeah, Alex, you're supposed to do
Well,
one.
I was going to say, I'm supposed to ask that, but if you want to throw your criticism.
Sorry. Yes. I will take all criticisms. But Alex, if you have anything else you wanted to add, I think that now might be a good time.
No, I think, anyone in the
Here,
audience
let me
or
use the
on,
mic.
anyone in the audience here or online who has any comments, and my comments here on any subject from anyone, are welcome. It is public access. So if there's anything here, or on the chat, the only other business we have to do is to announce the election results of the election that was conducted online through SurveyMonkey prior to the meeting. Are those projected? Do we have those, or should I just read them out?
I told them to you. So you
Yes.
can
So both candidates who were up for election were elected, myself and Reggie. So thrilled. As I mentioned in my annual comments, we're so excited to re-welcome Reggie to the BCTV family.
So awkward not to get elected.
Yeah, it would have been a real tough blow if you didn't elect him. But
There's only two.
Yeah.
Vote for only two, and there's only two
Yeah.
candidates. People need to know that.
But I consider us lucky to welcome Reggie to the board as a former producer and just longtime fan of BCTV. So that's great.
Yeah, and current.
Current. Great. I have nothing really else to say except that in watching all of the information that Core presented and seeing everything, charts are great, statistics are great, but if we're measuring ourselves along these three things, be creative, be informed, and be local, there is no better community media station in the universe. And I think that is why we all show up, but I think, again, it's why staff didn't miss a meeting. And that is, an unreasonable commitment they're often making, but it's one that our community is just so much better for, and I could not be more grateful for that. So without any more comments, I'll leave one more pause. I will call this portion of the annual meeting to adjourn, and then we'll transition into our annual board meeting, for which you're all welcome to attend as members of the public. So hearing no concerns, I will adjourn this year's annual meeting. Thank you. And thank you to everyone.